Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're well. And I apologize for being a few minutes late. My intent was to get on about 10 minutes earlier, but some technical issues held me back. So I hope that you will forgive me. So today we want to talk about why and how do the abusers choose us as their victim? Because we want to think that they saw us, they were attracted to us, they fell in love with us. Everything was wonderful, love's young dream, it's a miracle that we found each other. That's not the truth. So I'm going to go through some information with you right now. This is done by a lady called Christine, who's a psychotherapist, educator, author, and supervisor of mental health professionals for over 28 years. And she was part of a team in the trauma unit of St Brendan's Psychiatric Hospital in Dublin. And she's worked specifically with people that are victims of pathological narcissistic abuse in her private practice for many years. So I think we can basically trust that Christine knows what she's talking about. Okay, so when we think about why did my narcissist or my abuser, because generally most abusers are narcissists, why did they choose me? Was it just some random meeting and I was unlucky? But it's highly improbable that they chose you at random. On the contrary, they're likely to have chosen you as their victim with great care and attention for a specific reason. And it could be that they are attracted by your looks, your intellect, your knowledge, your status, your wealth, your popularity, whatever it is that attracts them to you. Most victims tend to have one trait in common, and that is that they are empaths. They have a caring nature. And it's important to remember that victims are not random choices. The abuser knows exactly who they want to snare. So the abusers are attracted to empaths the way that a moth is to a flame. And an empath, a caring, kind person, is a highly intuitive individual, and automatically and unconsciously they align themselves with the moods and wishes, thoughts and desires of those around them, and then quickly take on their emotions. So empaths can fall into two groups: those who are reclusive and tend to choose to cut themselves off from others, blocking out the pain that they pick up from their external environment. So they block out the painful emotions, the negative physical energy, chronic fatigue, etc., because you're taking all this on. And if you lock yourself away, you kind of protect yourself from it. But then you have those that are peacemakers. And this type tends to be quite humble, quite quiet achievers who don't need or want to be the center of attention. They only see the good in people, and they accept the shortcomings of others in a compassionate way. And they value harmony. Therefore, for peace's sake, they tend to give way to those who are more aggressive and confrontational. And they have an advanced empathy, so they are quick to feel subtle mood changes in others and quickly respond to those feelings with an open heart. Now, these people, these empaths, these people like you and I, because we are the victims of abusers, and we have to understand why they chose us so that we can make sure that we never get chosen again, or we make it extremely difficult to get chosen again, because we can see the signs that education, knowledge is key. Okay, so when you're a peacemaker, when you're an empath, you are quick to recognize other people's needs. And the only problem with that is that you're slow to recognize your own needs because you put everybody else first. So things must be bad before they explode. So you tend to bottle everything up, take on everybody else's wishes, wants and desires. And when you do explode, you feel really guilty and really ashamed at your loss of control. You don't like injustice and cruelty, and you'll often fight for the underdog, fight for the rights of others. Unfortunately, you're slow to fight for your own rights. Therefore, the narc, the abuser, is drawn to an empath like a moth to a flame, because they know that the empath will extend compassionate understanding to their ridiculous behavior far longer than other victims. And by the time that the empath begins to work out what is happening in the relationship, it's too late. more than likely they'll have been sucked completely dry by the nut and devastating damage will have been done, which is why a lot of abuse victims end up with the complex PTSD issues because of the damage that has been done by their abuser. Now, the abuser always craves excessive attention and love from their victims, and empaths are always willing to give that love, not only gracefully, but unconditionally, because empaths are not demanding. They don't need to be in the limelight, and they're humble and happy to allow their abuser to have all the attention. They're honest and open and would never imagine that anyone would deliberately manipulate for self-gain, because they're very loyal, they're devoted and selfless in their relationships, and they'll fight tooth and nail to resurrect their ailing relationship. And the abuser knows this to be so. So they're the healer and the fixer in the relationship. And then the abuser takes a sadistic pleasure in manipulating the relationship to their own ends. And the narc is a great actor. The abuser is a great actor. They know how to act the victim and how to milk your human kindness. So the abuser sets out to make you think that you have met your soulmate. And this is particularly true during the idealization phase, when they mirror back your values and beliefs to you, because their intention is to make you think that you have met a person that's just like you, someone who thinks like you, someone who's as sensitive as you, someone who you don't have to explain anything to. But unfortunately, nothing is further from the truth. It's all just smoke and mirrors. One big hoax, an elaborate illusion, which you fell for hook, line, and sinker. That's why they ask you so many questions. That's why they want to find out all about you. That sense of caring that you thought that they were displaying, where they were asking so many questions about you, wasn't caring at all. They were just filling their knowledge banks full of ways to manipulate you, full of ways to abuse you. And the abuser is someone that is seducing you and manipulating you into falling in love with someone that never existed. And the wounds of that experience go very deep. As soon as they select their victim, a covenant is formed in which they both enter a convoluted codependency dance. And in this partnership, one partner, the victim, is the consummate giver, whilst the other partner, the abuser, is the consummate taker. And they assume the role of puppet master. And whilst the victim assumes the role of puppet, unknowingly, all of the time that the victim's strings will be pulled in such a way that the abuser becomes the center of their world. And without any knowledge, the victim has been cemented into the role that the abuser has made for them. And as a supply, their sole purpose is to serve their abuser and remain under their pathological control. During the idealization stage, the abuser will be love bombed, and bit by bit they will become isolated from everything and everybody, all their family members, all their friends, all their work colleagues, all their hobbies, all their interests. Everything will go. And once this is established, the abuser will move into the devaluing phase. And that is the terrifying, soul-destroying, psychological warfare stage that is beginning, and it's all designed to suck the life out of the victim. And then they throw you away like a used tissue. And the abuse may last 4 months or years or decades. And the abused person, you're so deep into this fallacy, into this imaginary relationship that you believe to be real, and you constantly want to believe that they are the person that you initially fell in love with. But unfortunately, that person didn't exist. And it's really important to know that they chose you and they deliberately did this. Now, I know that they deliberately did this because they can control their behavior. So, when they say that, oh, I was so angry, I couldn't help myself, you drove me to it, it's all your fault, you made me so angry. If somebody else had been in the room, would they have been so angry? If somebody else was there witnessing their behavior, would they have behaved in the same way? And that tells you that they choose to behave a certain way because they can control their behavior. And everything that you are living is a lie. But it's a really hard thing to accept. And you have to be kind to yourself and know that you aren't stupid. You aren't thick. You aren't stupid. You aren't an ignorant fool. You were targeted. You were chosen because you're such a lovely, kind, empathetic, caring person. So please forgive yourself. Please be kind to yourself. And if you want to speak to anybody about how to escape, about what to do, etc., please contact me. You can contact me through commenting here. You can contact me through my Facebook page. You can contact me through my website, www.jennyrockcoaching.com, and it's Jenny with an I. And I will do my best to help you. I'll help you at whatever stage you're at. So if you are at the stage where you are trying to make sense of it all, if you're at the stage where you're desperate to leave but you don't know how, if you're at the stage where you have walked out the door and you don't know what to do next, if you have walked out the door, you don't know what to do next, you have set yourself up again and you're terrified that you're going to end up with another abuser. I help women at all those stages, all of those different stages, to rebuild their lives so that they can be happy again and so that they can never fall for somebody like this ever again. Okay, so feel free to contact me. I'm always around and available. It might take me a little while to come back to you if I'm snowed under, but I try to keep a decent work-life balance. So please forgive me if I do need to spend some time with my family before I come and spend some time with you. But you will be important to me. If I take you on as a client, you are important. So, well, what am I saying? Everybody's important, whether you're a client or not. Scrap that bit. Forget I said it. Anyway, have a wonderful week and I will see you again on Thursday. Take care. Bye.